Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. And guys, welcome to another edition of the Hard Truth Show. Guys, bear with me today. I got to wear some glasses so I can read because we got some fine print I need to work through on this. So, as I said the other day when I was talking about the lies and junk that NASA puts out, is that there is a lot of things that need to be covered right now. And I felt like that was the most important one right now because there ain't much I can do about what is. But there is something I can warn people about what is to come. And, you know, the demon alien invasion thing, all that junk, they're going to have that junk on the menu coming up. I guarantee it. And so, you know, the sooner people can grasp the geostationary flat earth and our firmament dome, waters above, waters below, just like scripture describes, then it starts opening eyes to a lot of things and to pay attention to scripture and biblical prophecy. But today, we're going to be talking about something I have hammered here in the past couple of years is that America is going to meet its demise. The fall of the American Empire is at hand and Babylon is crumbling. Be prepared. We need to be prepared. Okay. And shalom, much love to everybody that's in the building. You know, this country is wicked and vile. If you look at Revelation, book of Revelation, it's actually, you know what? Let's do that real quick. Let's just pull this up. I think we should definitely start doing streams with beginning of scripture, right? So let's do the second beast of Revelation in chapter 13, right? I'm going to read this from the English Standard Version, all right? And right here, it says, I saw another beast rising out of the earth. Now, it's important to pay attention because scripture explains itself, right? So the multitudes, nations, and tongues is what sea represented, right? So this is a sparsely populated place that this place rose out of, which would be the United States of America. It had two horns like a lamb, okay? Now, some people say it's church and state. Some people might consider that the two political parties that have arose in it. But it spoke like a dragon. And if our country ain't speaking like a dragon, I don't know what, because I got a 10-point bullet point to go over with you here. It exercises all the authority of the first beast in its presence. So, you know, Roman Catholic Church was, you know, damaged and broken down and the Pope taken away when Napoleon and them went in. And then, of course, you know, that wound has been healed. And, you know, the Roman Catholic Church has been restored, the first beast of Revelation. And so whose mortal wound was healed, right? And it performs great signs, even making fire come down from heaven to earth in front of the people. I don't know about you, but America is the only one so far that's apparently dropped nuclear weapons on people, right? Telling them to make an image for the beast that was wounded by the sword and yet lived. And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast, which, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not surprised if a lot of this is not going, AI is going to play into, just saying, that might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. Because, you know, like, I don't think you're going to get human beings to slaughter people to a certain level, but AI will definitely wipe out those that would not worship. You know, the government could just send that in. I think that's why the big push for AI, because I think a lot of governments know people's about done with government because they're all just wicked. So that no man, and it says, and also it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who understands calculate the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man. His number is 666. Apparently, too, they say that Donald J. Trump's name can match out to that, too. So for whatever that's worth. But that's not the conversation at the moment. So we know that there's this entity. Now, also in Revelation 18, I think it's important to read that one real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure and lay a premise here because I discuss a lot of world things. I discuss a lot of bullet points, but I feel like it's this massive push. We need to get back to the scripture more in depth as we discuss these things. Right here, let me see. Sorry, guys, just 1 second. It's important because it describes what goes on in the last days. So Revelation 18, I'm just going to read Revelation 18 real quick, and then we're going to get in the bullet points, I promise. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Keep in mind, commentary on this as I go. New York, Babylon, New York. Okay, that used to be called Babylon. Where DC is used to be called Rome, Maryland, as far as I know. So there is a lot of namesake prior to these things too, is fallen and become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven. Elohim hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works in the cup which she has filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself, lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and she and shall see no sorrow. It's interesting too that if you actually look at the Statue of Liberty, it's obviously a depiction of Lucifer, but if you look at it, like a depiction of female presence too, like liberty, right? Is that an inversion, sexual inversion? We can get into a lot of that discussion, but if you look at that, the Statue of Liberty, New York, and all that, it's like a massive representation of America. And I think that no matter what judgment comes to America, New York is definitely going to feel the burn, literally. And you see so many things, the Statue of Liberty destroyed, people having visions and dreams. I had a dream before the eclipse over America recently, over New York, about fire coming down and just all this bad, terrible stuff. And then it was like that night or the next night that eclipse took place. I didn't even know there was one taking place. Down here, a lot of people's having dreams and visions, bad things happening to America and especially New York. And therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. She shall utterly be burned with fire. And for strong is Yahuwah Elohim who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, also the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth, here we go, shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, chariots, slaves, and souls of men. And the fruits of that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which are ordaining and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, decked with gold, precious stones, and pearls, for 1 hour so great riches and come to naught, and every shipmaster and in all the company and ships and sailors, and as many trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she was made desolate. Almost finished, guys. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Elohim hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants, here we go, were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries Pharmakia. Pharmakia is the word right there. Sorceries is pharmakia, okay? Were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and all that were slain upon the earth. Now, I'm going to tell you, if that don't describe America, I don't know what would. And furthermore, the COVID-19 Jabby come from here, okay, and deceived all the nations. People are dropping like flies today because of one choice that was made between the dates of 2019 to 2024. If you know, you know, okay? And I have said goodbye to many of those that I loved, that are friends and close people and family to me. I mean, they're like family to me. They are no longer with us because of those dates. What happened between those dates, folks? And I can physically speak to that. People I physically know. All right. So there's that. So let me read the comment real quick. America. I know where it is. So anyway, to begin with on my list here today, I guess that one caveat I want to drop right here to make things really crystal clear too is that since 1501, I made sure to do my research on this, that slaves from Africa came to America. So as early from, St. Augustine, Florida, my favorite place in the world, to the Civil War, it's been a mess. And the true descendants of Abraham, the true seed of Israel, have been mistreated, enslaved, done terrible acts to here in America. This place is going to catch an ale, bro, just for that alone, okay? And you can look at around the world. There is no country in the world that's done more terrible, distasteful things than us at this point in time. When you really add the math, when you add the body count, this place takes the cake. Okay, so I'm going to tell you, if you don't think this place will be judged just on the atrocities that was done to the true seed of Israel, the apple of the Most High's eye, might I add, Scripture speaks of Israel as the apple of his eye. It's going to be bad. Okay, just on that alone, that account alone. And if you look at the terrorist nation state of Israel, the imposter Israel that's over there in land today, murdering Palestinians, committing genocide, bombing the living daylights and beating the brakes off everybody they can, saying that, us goyim of the nations we exist as dogs just to serve them, which don't get me wrong, some people that are hateful in the Hebrew Israelite movement, they will say that too. So it's not exclusive to the imposter state either. Hopefully y'all sort some hearts out and minds and makes people up, because Israel is supposed to be the lighthouse be a lighthouse to us in the nations. Instead, it's like, it's exclusive to me. Nobody else can get in. And even the imposters apparently go off that message at time constantly too. So that, there's that to have to deal with. But long and short of it, the first point I want to make to you is, and I think this is pretty obvious to people, but it needs to be said, is I think I have a copy of it somewhere in here. But I know I have the Rise and Fall of Third Reich. I think I have the Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire. If not, I need to get a copy of it from Easton Press. But if you look at the hash off marks in comparison, on charts and stuff, where you see what happened in Rome systematically and you see what happened in America systematically, we are going like line for line how that Rome done. Now, what's important to understand is that also, as historians and people have looked at it too, it's not like Rome fell in a day, right? The fall of it took place over a long period of time. The fall of it actually began you might even say 100 to maybe 200 years prior to when it actually just went completely kaput, right? And so the first point I want to make to you is that if you look at history and antiquity, what happened in the fall and demise of Rome, you look at America today, the fall and demise of it, it is piggybacking one for one. And that's really disturbing because it's almost like, what happened to Rome? Let us follow that and copy that exact, because that's about what you're seeing going on. All right. And it's a nasty, nasty animal. But now I look at this country always as a business, okay? Because honestly, it is an incorporated business, right? Right. And so when we look at this, the second point that I would make is right here, the federal debt. Let me make sure I'm not blocking this anyway. No, good. I just need to scroll it up a little bit. So if you look at the federal debt load, right? This is Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, right? This is a federal total debt to the public, right? Let me scroll this down. So to today, right? If you look at all the way back and just going from 1970 up, right? This is, yeah, maxed out. Okay, so this is astronomically going to the moon, right? From just early 80s to where we had almost no debt to today where we are $38 million, or I'm sorry, a million. That would be nice. Oh, I'm so sorry. $38 trillion in the hole. I need you to understand that, like, I've sat and looked at this as a business professional that's had successful businesses, that still has a successful business running to this day. That I'm like, if this was my business, if tomorrow you just took this, you dumped this in Luke's lap, you're like, homie, fix it. First thing I'd want to do is file Chapter 11 bankruptcy and restructure this. But honestly, I don't know. With the GDP, if you think about it, with the GDP, with the situation now injecting Iran and all this oil volatility, the petrodollar's dead since 2024, like you have all this in the mix. I don't even know if you Chapter 11 bankruptcy this and started over, if it would even be enough. This is a lot to digest. I don't know. It's a lot to take in. And I just do not know if I just don't think it's recoverable. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, long and short. There's just no recovering from this at this point. If you started somewhere early 2000, we could have probably made a turn. But what you see is an uptick again. And then later in 2010, same thing. Let's make some course correction. And after 2010, really after 9/11, like you can just see after 9/11, this starting to go up. And then it just continues to go to the moon. Now, if you took defense spending out of this blue line right here today would probably be about right middle of this road. Most of this money spent is bombing and killing other human beings in this world. I want you to look at that, because that's what your tax dollars are worth. Murdering children in the womb, helping pay for abortions, helping pay for blowing up other countries. It's not for curing cancer and saving your family. It's not for fixing your road. That my road's been restriped one time since I was a child. I'm 40 years old now. I think it's been paved one time in 40 years. It's just, the roads are dilapidated, falling apart. And I mean, this is what we pay for. So I just need you to understand that. And that's what Rome did too. Okay. They overextended themselves in wars. I want to make sure I reference Rome often as I do this, because this is exactly copy and paste, right? All right. So my third point that I want to point out to you, that this great empire, this imperialistic empire, the reason I call it imperialistic empire, okay, is because we have bases. This country has bases all over the world, which they kind of getting obliterated right now. But in the long hindsight of it, there was bases all over the world. And, I don't want to get to that point yet. I'll just say this, we're declining. And also we're looking to exit NATO. They're also bringing back tons of troops. I'll cover this in a little bit, but, I want to get to that on the section when I get to it. But, money wise, it's a mess, and it ain't getting any better. Okay. You're right now, if also since 2019, if you'll take your Walmart app, right, and you put in whatever orders you got from Walmart in 2019, and now you look at it today, chances are that it will be right at about a 50% cost increase compared to what it was before. Now, please don't do that right now because it's Sabbath. And by the way, shout out to everybody keeping the Father's Looney Solar Scriptural Calendar, the Biblical Scriptural Calendar. If you haven't checked out this app, worldslastchance.com has a great free calendar app to help you with that. And guys, also, if you haven't checked me out over on Patreon, please come over and subscribe. It's free to be over there. But those that do contribute, donate, and support me monthly, I truly appreciate it. I love all of you. And don't forget, April 15th is the Bug Out Bag giveaway announcement for this quarter. I'm trying to do that quarterly giveaway Bug Out Bag. So if you haven't checked that out, the video for that's over there too. That's for those that help support. Those that are on there for free, it's not free, guys. I'm sorry. That's the way I think those that help support me over here on the way back, because YouTube don't allow us to be really monetized at all anymore to help. And I appreciate it because it helps pay for the StreamYard, pays for CapCut editing, helps a lot of the cost of producing content these days. All right, and the internet. It's getting ridiculous, the internet. But our third point that I want to get to is the diversion from the Constitution to fascism. And fascism is rising. I told you guys, Donald Trump, I told you about him getting elected 8 days before he got elected. He got elected. Told you also before he got elected, all the bad things he'd do. He's pretty much done everything on my punch list. Thing that shocks me is at the fast rate that he done it. I figured this would be done over a few years, not over the first year that he was in office. A little bit mind blown by that, not going to lie. But the total control will strangle so many other things that I've warned you about. And the important thing to understand is why that I made this point high up in the list also is because it dictates so many other things. Like the stranglehold that fascism creates will ultimately damage the economy further, but it will destroy your ties with our allies. It will destroy infrastructure. It will destroy people wanting to work. It will destroy morality. Like fascism is a weird cancer. You know, communism, people see it and they don't want to participate in it. So certain sectors of things just fall in disarray while other sectors prop up. Socialism eventually eats itself because people are like, why do I need to keep contributing to something that's just being taken and given to everybody else? But nationalistic fascism is a weird animal because it sells a dream while at the same time creating a destructive environment that consumes itself. It's weird. It's weird. Anybody that has never studied fascism, if you're like, man, I don't know what capitalism is, I don't know what socialism is, I don't know what communism is, listen, before you look at all of them, before you even understand what our country was, a capitalistic republic, right? That's pretty much what it is, right? A republic that was capitalism is pretty much what rules here, right? As far as the way that things operate. But a free republic and a capitalistic operating republic, what you're seeing now is being changed over into a fascist government, right? And sorry, let me pull my notes right there. And it's going to be wild to watch 1930s, early 1930s Nazi Germany play out, overlay in real world here at the same time as the things that went on in the fall of Rome play out. That's weird. We're running like two parallels in this paradigm. And I don't think at any point in history have you ever seen anything like it. Like the scripture talks about, there'll be a time coming upon the earth that never has been, nor never will be again. And I mean, nowhere in history can we reach back and be like, well, this happened, well, this happened, well, this happened. We can be like, well, this happened at this time and this ended badly. And then this happened at this time and this ended badly. But we've never been able to be like, well, here's a Romanistic government, imperialistic Romanistic government. Here's Nazi Germany type fascism on top of that. Oh, and then by the way, you've got like economic decline in no other realm like you've ever seen. I mean, like there's just all these check boxes that you hit at one time. It's like, what comes out of the blender? Like, what does that look like when it comes out the other side of the blender? Because I don't know. I don't know. All I can tell you is it ends badly because all of them ended badly. So when you take A that ended badly, B that ended badly, and C that ended badly, and you put it in the blender and you put blend, it's going to come out really bad. All right. So the next thing, which I think is just absolutely paramount, is that, and I mean, this and I think is hitting the young people and the millennials, and like it's beyond obvious at this point, because to me, about to be a middle of the road guy. I mean, I'm 40 years old now. Okay, so I'm in the middle of my life, and for somebody that 20 years ago, I see my son's 21, so right at about 20 years ago, no, 21 years ago, is before he's born. So right at about 21 years ago, I wanted to volunteer to go to the military. And so keep in mind, this is time frame, that shortly there around, you got 9/11, all this, now just gung-ho to fight for America. Nowadays, I'm telling you, if you come to my house to ask me to go fight for Iran, I may shoot you on my porch. I'm just being honest with you. I have no interest in fighting these people in Iran. I have no interest in that area over there. It's not I'm a coward. I have seen the destruction that is spiraling right here, and I do not want to leave my family to go fight somebody far off as this place is beginning to burn down. Like, I wish I had multi-million dollars in the bank right now and could flee Babylon, because I know there's a lot of places in the world that are not good, but there is a lot of places in the world that will not catch the ale that this place is about to catch. I am telling you, 100%. And I know friends that like leaving up out of this place, going back to either their homelands or going somewhere else, because they know that it's imminent. It is just absolutely imminent. And they've been planning to exit too for a while. It ain't like they just had a snap judgment overnight. They've seen the writing on the wall a long time, as myself. Just escaping is the hard part. And I got a new passport. Just like, show me the house and the money and let me just get my bags and go at this point, right? I mean, like that's where I'm at with it. And what are some of those places? Well, I'll tell you, like mindset wise, some of the places that I would think would be like Mediterranean, on Sicily, on an island in the Mediterranean, Fiji in the middle of the Pacific, just places that are remote and isolated, but wouldn't say inaccessible. But like, for example, you get a piece of land in Fiji. I think it's a 50 or 100. It's 50, 99 or 100-year lease. It's a long lease. And you lease the land, do what you want with it, develop it. It's yours. There's very cut and dry rules about places. You could live a quiet, peaceful life, disappear. Like this is just some things thrown out there. Still have some protection. Like I've tried to think, closest to the Second Amendment and the First Amendment, and places you can still like have a voice, still have a firearm. Those places do still exist. Okay. So number 4 is war is unsustainable. The Roman Empire, all they did, kill people, move on, kill people, move on, kill people, move on. It was just a consuming fire, right? Consuming fire all the time up on the earth. And only about 15 to 20 years through the entire course of the history of the United States of America, this republic, have we been at peace. Outside that, we've been at war with somebody, slitting throats or blowing somebody up. Facts. That is actual historical fact. That is embarrassing, and it's saddening to think about that. Like, you have a country and all you've done is been at war from the time that you existed. It is paved with blood. It's crazy. And now, real quickly before I get to this other point within this point, is this year alone. Now, I need to make sure. There is apparently an 8th one that has been missed. I've looked at other people's stuff that they've shared. Please, somebody enlighten me to the one I've missed, because I know I'm missing it. And actually, there might be a 9th one. But I've got Iran, Venezuela, Yemen, Somalia, Iraq, Syria, Nigeria. Those are places that have been attacked. I know what it is. I believe cyber terrorism with the electrical grid and stuff like that, and the fuel block off with Cuba too. That's one of them. Okay, so we might have 9. But anyway, here's your short list if you want to look at these. This is the president of peace, right? He said that he wouldn't do any of this stuff, and yet this is just within 1 year of him back in office, right? And let me pull you this one up, because I love to make sure we quote people. The peace president. Countries Trump has threatened to attack, and countries bombed by Donald Trump. So let's see. I've got Venezuela. Let's see. Let me make sure I got my list right here. Okay. So then you've got Mexico with a cartel. Oh yeah, and threatened Greenland. Oh my gosh, we've had so much going here lately. I figure out about Greenland. So yeah, it's just been wilded out, absolutely wilded out. And may I point out that the important thing to take from this, let me actually delete this one off. Okay, yeah, let me go back on now and screen share this other one. Is that I've been looking at this greatly here lately. Make sure I can share this all the way. Okay, so this is the Albert Pike, so-called Albert Pike letter to Mazzini, and it's about the plans for the 3 world wars. Okay, now I'm going to just go out and say I don't say this is legit, and I don't say it's illegitimate either. Okay, so you just take it for whatever value you want to. Okay, let me just say that. But in the letters, right? And the reason I say that I just don't take it as legit is because, they've got this right here, Nazism. Nazism wasn't really a thing coined until like the 30s, right? So and I mean, of course, they could have cooked up, hey, this is what we're going to call it. I'm just saying that what I want you to take from it is right here what it's described in the Third World War. It says, must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agitor of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Well, that box is checked right now. We're there. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and political Zionism mutually destroy each other. Check box there. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We're there. I'm going to show you that we're leaving NATO and everything in a minute because we're tired of dealing with everybody else. We got to take care of ourselves. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and the most bloody turmoil. We're about there with that. Okay, almost there with that. And then everywhere the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization. People's already rising up. Where was it? South America, I forget the one country, Peruvian government, maybe it was, that people rose up and overthrew the other day or recently or whatever. And the multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will form from that moment be without compass of direction. We're almost there. This is where that like Christian nationalism thing's gonna get really kicked off that I've warned about, is that anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer brought finally out in the public view. The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Now, that was the letter from Albert Pike to the Illuminati, right? Their plans to cook up world wars. Keep in mind, wicked people plan in generations. They don't plan like I live day by day anymore. In this crazy world we live in, I'm just like, oh, thank you, Father in heaven. I woke up today. I've got the breath of life. I mean, literally right now, praise you, Most High Yah, that I have the breath of life. In case I forgot to thank you this morning. And it's like I'm living day by day. And these people live in generations. They are planning out in generations, okay, of what's to come. Let me see what the comments said here real quick. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Much love to everybody. Love everybody coming in today. I hope you're having a great Shabbat. And so, and long and short here, the last point I'll make about point number 4, and sorry, this is running a little long today, guys. Actually, I'm going to pull this up on my phone right here and read it. Even with my glasses on, I'm struggle busting with that. So let me just pull it up right here. It says, this was a quote from Facebook on that Donald Trump for President page. For some reason, I keep finding a lot of caveats from that page lately. It says, America first, Rubio eyes shutting 80% of U.S. bases in Europe after NATO allies stab us in the back. Now, I'm not going to read all this, okay? You can just pause it, screenshot it, zoom it in later or whatever. But the next page here says, it's time to end the free ride. America first means putting American resources to work for Americans, not propping up ungrateful partners who treat us like enemies when it suits them. Rubio's move is long overdue. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they would have not done this if they'd assisted us in this ridiculousness going on in Iran. Had they done that, They wouldn't have been doing that. That's not a move like putting America first. We're petty. We're mad. You didn't help us. You're cut off. That's what that is. It's just a move of pettiness. Don't get me wrong. In a real sensible mindset, absolutely put Americans first, because we need to protect ourselves. We don't need to be out there policing the world. All right. Everybody needs to police some darn selves up. But this is not that mindset. This is the mindset of I'm mad at you, I'm petty, and I'm cutting you off. That's all that is. Okay, so I ain't even worrying about getting into political stuff much on Sabbath anymore. You read it when you want to. Whew. All right. Number 5, which is shift from allies. Now, I just said that right there about the closing bases as part of the war stuff, right? But there is a massive fundamental shift from our allies. For example, I believe it was in Oman. Qatar, I think, Oman. I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of places that are very disgusted with us right now. And Qatar, I believe, is requesting their airplane back that they gave Mr. Trump for personal use. And Saudi Arabia will no longer buy armaments from us. Their thing was, I think they quoted saying that, it was always a nod of submission to the U.S., in buying armaments from them and stuff, and just all this stuff. So, like, people over there are getting tired of America, because when the assaults came back from Iran, we didn't try to help protect the place. All we did was, we used the place for attacking Iran. And they seen that, and they seen that this is, we're just abusing this. And Spain was like, you're not going to launch assaults from our country on another country. It's not going to be used for that. And so it just goes to show you that people's getting fed up, and they see what's going on. And this departure from protecting others will not only lead to no help when we're vulnerable, which will be very soon, if not already, but it's one of those things where it won't easily be reversed, if ever to be reversed. Like, the next president comes in and says, listen, I'm going to be a good guy. I'm sorry for all the stuff Donald Trump done. He was terrible. We all can't stand Orange Man. He was a terrible human being. But that's irreversible at this point. There is bodies in the ground. There is a scorched earth. There is truces broken, promises broken. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to fix. It's just crazy. Let me see what this says here real quick. Shalom. So grateful for your soul, brother. Really appreciate your time and content over the years. Most High Baruch, you and your family always, and keep you safe for there. Hey, much love to you. May the Most High Baruch you as well. Way of the HaKadosh. I'll tell you what. I love that. The Kodashim, the holy ones. I'll tell you what, I really hope that we can be counted worthy to life, guys, because I'm going to tell you, things are getting really ugly and dark out here. It's not the world I want to be a part of. The new world to come. And that's absolutely it right there. As I've tried to state in a lot of videos recently, is that our only hope is in Messiah and the return of the Most High's kingdom here on earth. That is the only hope we have, and that's what we need to be looking toward. Because the rest of this, if it is not obvious to you that the only path to salvation and is believing upon the Most High, keeping His commands, and having faith in His Son Yahushua's sacrifice, I don't know what to tell you. Because it is obvious at this point that salvation out here, it's nowhere to be found in this world. Because everybody's killing each other, blowing each other up, truce breaking. It's a madhouse. Whew. All right, so we're 40 minutes into this, and I'm only halfway, so I'm going to try to keep this moving here. So number 6 is imported people and the replacement of existing production workers, war fighters, people of this culture. The cultural shifts and values that is taking place in America. Within about 2 more decades, the shift in America will be so profound that you will not recognize the America that was originally established. Now, I'm not saying that from a racist standpoint, because that's like, well, what are you saying? You don't like other people from other countries? No. What I'm saying is there was a people, a way of life, a rule of law, and a culture. And that culture is fundamentally shifted now. Like when I go to certain places in the country, I'll travel a country to work, travel a country to speak, and I can see how that place has radically shifted. I mean, you just take, like, for example, Detroit, Michigan, physically been there, right? And it's like, years and years ago, you can just see Ford Motor Company just boom town, and it was traditional conservative American values, right? Now, keep in mind, a lot of Democratic people there. I'm not getting into politics, but I'm just looking at the America, the red, white, and blue, that patriotic we grew up. And nowadays, you drive up the road, and as you're driving up the interstate, almost about every 10 mile, I think there's a mosque, a huge mosque on the side of the highway for Islam. I mean, like, that is what you're seeing in this country. And that's, I just use that as one example. Like, I just use that because it's such a night and day example. But America's shifting, southern borders and southern part of our country is shifting. The Latino Hispanic population is going to take back what used to be originally Mexico, is going to be, one way or another, they're going to take it back by violence, or they're going to take it back by outbreeding the population. Because another thing too is most people live in this country today, whether white, black, Hispanic, whatever, if you're like an actual U.S. citizen, right? Just use these stats. The amount of repopulation of people compared to like people coming in or migrating in and then becoming U.S. citizen or being illegal, is outpopulating the people that's here. So you have that. And I mean, in probably a couple more decades, you really won't see a lot of so-called white, what would be called white people. I hate how like people say black people, white people, Indian. I'm like, there's just different shades of melanin people. There's no like white person and there's no like black person, right? And I mean, it's just crazy. Like there's tribes of people and there's ethnics. I don't know, it's just, it's weird. Anyway, but before long, there will not be people like my melanin shade. They're saying that won't be a thing in the future. It'll just be gone, because of so much intermingling of other nations, one with another. And I'm not just talking like a Latino person or a white person. It could be like Arabic from Egypt with somebody in the middle of Minnesota. Like it's just gonna, this blending and the great stirring of the blending pot. And eventually you're not even going to have like cultures of people anymore. It's weird. Like it's really weird. I'm 63. I don't recognize this word anymore. Yeah, it's wild. It's from my favorite, to the highway of holiness. Raise up like a call home. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. What does it say? We need as bride to stand as one in no fear. But when we see that happening, know that he's on his way and receive us. Yep, that's absolutely. Yeah. And I tell you what, it's motivated me in these last days to make more content than ever, because everything I've told people past 15 years now is being validated at light speed. It's crazy. Like we're getting to live and see scriptural prophecy play out real time right here in front of our face. Wonderful thing. But I hate it for the loss of life. I feel so bad for people, just like the Palestinian people. Just terrible, terrible stuff, folks. I looked at a video today and the whole countryside of Gaza, just rubble everywhere. No, I mean, there wasn't one building left standing. I mean, you want to talk about genocide, man. It's the craziest thing I ever seen. I mean, it's far worse than World War II, in my opinion, that the Nazis conducted. And these people were so-called the victims of Nazis, and look what they're doing. Like, it is crazy, just mind-boggling. But anyway, I digress. Number 7 is the exodus of people who were originally there and descendants of original culture, because they see the decline. Now, many of these things I just discussed: shift from allies, war unstable, diversion from original thing, and like having strong men in Rome. These all happened with Rome too. Okay, all the stuff that I'm talking about right now systematically happened with Rome. And so the people of culture that knew what was up and knew how things were and the goodness of it, and seeing how it's turning into a monster, left Rome. And people like me would like to leave here, because I'm like, not only See, mine's a two-edged sword. But when I grew up in Christianity, I didn't understand scriptural biblical history like I do now. And like if you think about it, once you come to that visualization and that real reality, you're like, I don't want to be in this land because it's stained with blood. I mean, it just goes miles deep on how bad things are here. And so it's like, you didn't know no better. You were born in this land. I mean, Hebrew Israelites were born in the land of Egypt, and they got up out of that place and went back to their homeland. Like just because you were born in a place doesn't mean you have to ascribe to that place, to be a patriot of that place, to want to join into that. That it's just terrible. Let me see, just some comments, a few more comments here before I move on. I don't know how many people in my local Torah fellowship support this illegal war, but I know some do. It's terrible, terrible. I doubt those individuals view what happened in Gaza as genocide. Oh, I'm sure. No. I watched a video today where there was a little girl on the side of the road in Israel laughing, saying that the Palestinians needed to die. There was old men down to children asking for Palestinians to be killed and eradicated. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I watched like a 10-minute documentary thing this morning. It just floor you. Absolutely floor you. I literally watched it on the couch this morning about an hour or two ago before I produced this today. It's just, man, we could just go on and on about that. But I feel like talking against Israel will become the next COVID -19 thing that will get you banned on here. And I just don't want my content pulled anymore again. So, maybe we can talk about that over on Patreon in the future if that's something people want to cover. But the cultural shift, you can see people leaving. And, that's where I'm at. I'm definitely one of those people in point number 6, that the thing that's keeping me from leaving, like I'm at the point right now, and this is going to be terrible to say, but if somebody gave me multiple $1 million tomorrow, they gave me like $5 million was in my bank tomorrow, the next thing I'd be doing is getting on a plane, going to look at my options, right? I could be on the internet for a while and then on a plane. But at that point in time, I'd come back and I'd give my family the opportunity to leave with me. If they choose to stay, I'm done with them. Like that's how intent I am about getting up out of this land. If I was given the opportunity and the wealth to leave here, I would take everyone with me that I could get out of here. And if they don't want to go, then the best to you. C'est la vie, such is life. So, I mean, like that's literally my mindset at this point. My heart is so far departed from this place. All right, moving on. Number 7, we got it. Number 8 is infrastructure. Okay. The infrastructure of this country is in a terrible, terrible disarray. If massive financial investment is not made into it soon, the power grid will be the most critical thing to crumble. Now, I ain't speaking to this out of turn. I work in off-grid construction. I've worked in the electrical field for almost 20 years. It's terrible. Like most places you go out of the country, just like take, for example, in Europe and Germany, underground utilities, excellent electricity, the works. You come here, TVA dams, one of them over at Cherokee, you can literally walk up, there's water seeping out of the concrete. I'm surprised that the dam hasn't gave way and broke. Like in one good earthquake, it'll be gone. Like when the 7 trumpets revelation started, that sucker's gone immediately. I'm telling you, like we are deeply in a bad spot with infrastructure. One good cyber attack, one good bomb, one good earthquake, a lot of stuff will be gone in an instant, and entire regions of this country will be without electricity. And everything depends. We're in an electrical world. We operate in an electrical world. Make no mistake about it. Rome infrastructure crumbled out from under it. I'll tell you one thing, they were good at building roads, but outside of that, a lot of their infrastructure today, you overextend yourself, you don't have the funds to cover the repairs. It's that simple. And we're busy, a thing that constantly shocks me is that how we can't take care of our elderly, our veterans, and the children, and those in medical need. But for some reason, we can always scrape up the funds to print money to make bombs and kill people. It just, it's the weirdest darn thing. I can't never figure that one out. So if somebody can quantify that for me, by all means, please enlighten Luke and bring me up to speed, because I just can't figure that one out. So number 9 is enemies from within. If you look at, all the people that's coming into here, you look at the AI data centers that's been put in place and the opportunity for cyber terrorism with that, or for them to do exactly what they want to do with us and call it cyber terrorism. There is so many things on the menu primed for bad, that can happen. And it's not beyond comprehension to think that these things can and will. I mean, like at the point of how many enemies we've made in the world, to think that one of them won't try to smite us by, placing people within us would be a great oversight. Yeah, oversight on things. And Rome failed. The Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, and the Vandals, I believe it was, tore Rome to pieces. And this is where we're headed here. It's going to be a systematic destruction of our country. And there's nothing that really can be done at this point, because two things, there's too many things been planned. And let's see what right here. Somebody said that's some planned obsolescence for you on a national scale. Let that infrastructure rot, then allow the enemies or themselves to tear it down and build back better with AI. Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, keep in mind, folks, they want us to own nothing and be happy. And most people are being pushed into a situation where they almost own nothing anymore. Like, to insulate myself from that, I've already passed on about 2/3 of my property and possessions to my son. And then my daughters, I've already tried to make sure that secure their inheritance. And my home, I did the 30-year loan thing where that I took a ton of equity out of it to get prepared, pay off debts and stuff, so I could even survive these days ahead. And that way I'm netted out and not making a payment. And the payment goes back to them to sell the house, or in 30 years have to figure something out. In 30 years, bro. In 30 years, we'll all probably be dead if Messiah don't come back. So I'm not really worried about 30 years out from now. I'm just saying, not to be facetious there. But the enemies from within, it's serious business, and you need to definitely plan out and accordingly, because if you think that bad things won't happen to us and attacks from within, you are losing your mind. And keep in mind that if someone blew up the Golden Gate Bridge like we blew up that bridge in Iran the other day, that would be a terrorist attack. But when we do it, it's rescuing people and blah, 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 and regime change. I mean, it's just, who would have thought on our bingo card for this year that I would have Iran being philanthropists and trying to save people and liberate the world from terrorism, because they wanted, for one pilot, for one pilot return, they wanted 10,000 Palestinians set free from the chances of being murdered by Israel, because they're past the law now to kill the Palestinians. It's just crazy. It is what it is. And the last point that I want to make is Bible prophecy and the 7 trumpets revelation. So if you look at Bible prophecy and all the things that's to play out with the 7 trumpets revelation, it will absolutely bring this country to its knees. We're already fractured. We're already divided as a people when it comes. I mean, as a country, we're divided. It's man against woman. It is ethnic against ethnic. It is Republican versus Democrat. You're not allowed to be a libertarian or a third party. You better be a Democrat or Republican. And we're against each other, blah, blah. And it's religion against religion here. I mean, like, any way you can divide it up. Black versus white, red versus yellow, you name it. It is absolute division in this country. And because of all the fracture that's already in place, when you add in Bible prophecy and the 7 trumpets revelation from the opening salvo of things that's going to happen, and from earthquake worldwide to a third of the stars falling out of heaven, to you keep going, it's going to be an absolute shock show to watch what happens. And America will definitely be decimated off this map. I want to just make sure and point out to you, between the New Madrid, San Andreas, Yellowstone, super volcano. There's plenty of natural things that the Most High can do to this land to destroy this place. Like this place can be ripped apart about 2 or 3 different ways without even having to do much. Last time New Madrid went off, it ran the Mississippi backwards for 3 days straight, I believe it was, and created Reelfoot Lake. Like it will destroy this place when the trumpets start. Absolutely. The world will be leveled, don't get me wrong. But here, mass judgment will be up on this land. No doubt about it. And I just think people need to really humble themselves and consider where we're at as an individual walking our walk out with the Father, because it is time to really get the dumb stuff out of our life, repent, and act accordingly. Because my last point I would make, and this not like that was my 10 points, but like this is just a personal point I want to make, is that, you know, we're probably not getting out of this thing. I'm not probably getting out of this thing alive. I've accepted that at this point as a very clear reality. Now, if I do skip that, that will be wonderful, you know, and if I don't, at least, you know, hope I make it in the resurrection. But I'll call it the Jeremiah effect. I've spent 15 years speaking about things to come. I've spent past 2 or 3 years really speaking about the judgment on America. People do not take that well, especially people who live here. They do not like that I speak like that. And when judgment comes up on this land, I have a feeling that a lot of people's going to turn that anger toward me because that I told them exactly what's happening to them, and it's terrible things. Like what you see in Gaza, what you see in Ukraine, what you see in Iran will eventually come home to our doorstep. It is inevitable. And when it does, the Jeremiah effect will probably take place as people will turn on people, just like they did in Babylon when Jeremiah warned everybody, or in Israel when Jeremiah warned everybody about Babylon coming, is that keep in mind that when they came and, you know, had been put in prison, that the Babylonians turned him loose and let him go into his own house. And, you know, that is my hope that whenever this all does go down, that I can be sheltered by the Father, because I warned the people, I seen what was coming, I tried to humble myself, and that's about all a man can do at this point. That's about all a man can do. And it is unfortunate, the situation that we all are dealing with, but it is inevitable. And one thing that is beyond argument at this point, I mean, people can argue, but the empirical evidence, just a little bit of empirical evidence I've gave you right here, is that when you compare to what happened to Rome, what you compare to happen to the British Empire, what you compare to happen to the USSR, and the stages that we're in here in the United States now, it is going to happen. There is empire after empire that's failed all the way back to Rome. And you might say prior to Rome too, that have the same markers and tendencies that happened there that is happening here. So all you can do is love your family, get your own self in order, get your house in order, and pray for protection, because what will come up on this land is going to happen to this land. Okay. Now, let me read a few comments real quick here. I said a bunch of comments toward the end here. You see, it says, yeah, man, it's all down to spreading truth and getting our lives in perfect obedience, walking in line with Messiah Yahushua's teachings and our Father's everlasting commandments, i.e. his Torah. In my opinion, the place needs to get leveled and start all over again. But if we perish physically, keeping his commands and waiting on Yahushua, we will be martyrs. Yeah. Let me see here. It'd be Psalm 91, real time. Absolutely, Deborah. Absolutely, hon. You're right on that. That's, you know what, guys, probably comment the day right there. Those people that will do that play for the lesser evil, those are not people that really count. Yeah. Shalom. Much love to everybody. But yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, it is incredibly wild, the times we're living in, but it is further reiterating that the scripture is right on point. I mean, the river Euphrates is drying up as we speak. There's war in the Middle East, which is actually Northeast Africa, still same continent. To me, Asia starts at Iran, which is ancient Persia, which is 2nd Ezra 16. Woe to you, Babylon, Asia, woe to you, Egypt, Damascus, and then on down there, beginning of sorrows. We're pretty much at the goalpost of so many things. You can see it all popping off. So the meter's running, the clock is ticking, the ball game's going. So when the final buzzer hits, you're going to know who was wrong and who was right. But as always, until we see you again here, 7 Trumpets Prepper channel, guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you haven't supported me over on Patreon, you can join for free. If you want to help support me over on Patreon, it is much appreciated, and I thank you every bit for it. As far as I know, I'll be speaking at the TrutherCon 2026 coming up, which would be in November of this year, and maybe speaking, I think, in Ohio. There's some things coming up, so those donations definitely help with the travel costs too, because a lot of those events, these people putting them on, they're just spending their last dime trying to get the word out too. It ain't a moneymaker. So it's definitely appreciated. And that's one way I tithe. That's pretty much where I put my tithe. I'm like, people call, they're like, come speak. I'm like, all right, well, there's my tithe money, because gas is only like, going to be $7 a gallon before long. So anyways, guys, I hope this has been a help to you. And as always, till we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prepper channel, I hope the Most High Yah baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua name.